Is this soap dough or is it pie crust that I'm rolling out? Hey, it's Michelle and I make handmade soaps, and it's actually soap dough. The August Soap Challenge Club tutorial was a peekaboo soap. Basically, you take a piece of soap dough and you roll it out thin, and you use a really small cookie cutter to cut shapes from the top. Then you take that sheet of soap dough and you put it on top of a wet soap. I promise it'll make sense, so just follow me for the journey. I was going for a little bit of a Halloween theme here, just in case it was something that was good enough to sell to my customers, but I went with a cat. The tricky part, that soap dough is still a little bit sticky. I don't know if it's my particular recipe or that's just the nature of it, but it was frustrating to get that piece of soap out from inside the cutter. In the tutorial, she uses cornstarch to dust her cookie cutter to make it easier to get those pieces out. But it was still a little bit of a challenge. This is the first time I've ever done this. So I've got one piece cut. I decided to go for a second piece. This time around, I dusted it with the cornstarch first, and that made it less sticky. I'm basically repeating the same thing with cutting out my cats from the soap dough piece. Once these are cut out, they're going to go on top of another freshly made soap. Think putting a pie crust on top of a pie. But it's not pie, it's soap, so please don't eat it. I've got my second piece ready to go. Now it's time to make some soap. Here's the base of my peekaboo soap. I went with a black because I was going for a black cat vibe. Of course, you know me, I can't have it be a basic black cat, so I decided to jazz it up with some neon. That soap dough layer with the cat cutouts is going to sit on top of this. So I'm adding the extra neon on top to show through those cat cutouts. Ironically, I consider myself to be a dog person, but I do like the cat aesthetic. The technical part about this soap, I mean, not that the other part wasn't hard, it was hard. The soap has to be set enough that it holds your soap dough layer, but wet enough that it stays flat. I hope that makes sense. And I should have cut this out beforehand. This is me trying to figure out how to get it to fit together. The smart people would have measured it ahead of time, but oh well. After a lot of editing, I finally did figure out how to get this to fit on there. It was quite tricky, and I really loved learning this technique. Soap Challenge Club has definitely taught me new techniques. Will I ever do this again? I don't know. I think I need a little bit of time to recover. It's time to cut this peekaboo soap. I think I'm going to name it Neon Kitty or Boo Kitty. Hey, it's Michelle and I make handmade soaps. So this was a technique I learned from the August Soap Challenge Club tutorial. And I did a lot of things wrong here. This is not something that I'm going to be selling to customers, but I still enjoy learning new techniques. My mistake here was that I used a cookie cutter that was too big, so it's going to make for some really weird cuts. So let's just focus on my Hercules cutter here. I love that I can use it as a loaf splitter like I'm doing here. Because I was trying to cut where each bar has a whole kitty or more than one kitty, the bars are uneven in sizes. So yeah, I just cut everything wrong here. I didn't even follow the directions for the contest, so I can't even submit these, but I don't think they'd be winners anyways. So here's proof that sometimes not everything I make is a winner. Sometimes I have flops, but nothing's a fail if you continue to learn new things, right? I'll definitely work on perfecting this technique to see if I can come up with some cool holiday designs. Follow for more soap.